This is Talk of Asian Marketing with a special emphasis on localized Chinese consumer behavior. Our website is ccc.qbook.tv, where you can find other audio and video episodes with photos, links, and information related to today's conversation. Subscribe to leave comments and access research episodes with applied topics and research reports.
Who's going to be fastest?
Gotcha.
Welcome to Talk of Asian Marketing. We're into our whole series of shows about consumers and consumers in
Singapore.
Singapore. I want to say Shanghai there because, of course...
Well, we got shows in Shanghai too. You're getting jet lag.
I'm getting jet lag, and we've got shows in Hong Kong and in Taiwan.
Yep.
So, this is all big body material that we're putting together, and we're very excited about it. And, of course, today's show goes back to the wet market.
We're back to the wet market in Singapore.
And
Which, by the way, if you weren't looking for it, you'd miss it. If you didn't know it was there, and you're a Westerner visiting Singapore, you probably wouldn't even ever see them. But they're all over. It's not just one. Although there is a famous one down in Chinatown.
Yes.
Right.
And I kind of like what you've just said there about they're everywhere because, as I said in our last show, I showed some of these videos to our local students here in Taiwan. And today I showed them this clip of part of the video we're going to look at today. And I said, so let's have a little look. Let's see where this wet market is. And we talked a little bit about it. And then I said, so where is it? I hadn't told them it was Singapore.
Where is it?
And they said, well, it's everywhere.
Yeah, it looks like it's in
could
Taiwan,
be
right?
any city.
Right.
And so I think your point so well made there. It's really ubiquitous.
Anywhere where you have a large group of Chinese and they have this possibility to get fresh food. I mean, this is the really key point to cooking. You're going to have wet markets.
You're going to have wet markets immediately. And we see people being very systematic in the video about choosing their products and going from one stand to another stand to try and find the sort of product that they want and they like. Yeah. And clearly some consumers have built up great rapport with the stallholder who gives them really neat advice about what to buy and what not to buy. And it really resonated with me because I went recently to one of our local vendors to buy, in the evening you have to go and buy a snack.
Yeah.
So I went there and I was picking out the vegetables that I wanted cooked, and he just sort of leant across a bit and he said, don't have the cabbage.
Oh, he said, don't take the cabbage.
Don't take the cabbage. And that was basically because we go there pretty often, and he wanted to tell me, look, it's not very fresh, it's not very nice. He'll kind of save that for the guys that perhaps he doesn't like or he doesn't want to see again. But we see that within
that
relationship sort of being built in this video between the storeholders and the customers. And we see what one technique they use, which is very typical again, is value. What are customers looking for? They're looking for a cheap price and a bit more. Right. And so sometimes we see the storeholders giving the customer a little bit extra sometimes.
And they can get a little extra, or you have a stand that has more pushing out. You get a crowd around you, and I think one thing that comes out in today's video is that crowd draws another crowd.
It does. And one of the stalls, how do they try and get that crowd buzzing? They're giving away free onions.
Yeah.
So this guy's
you
calling
give away
out,
almost anything for free, and you'll right away get this crowd
just coming right in. So these guys are giving away onions. You see one lady who's gone away come back because I think she hears, there's some onions. So it's really it's value, and we've seen in the previous shows this one lady going through her beans because there's the money, there's the product, and they really the consumers are very, very, very acute sense of what they're getting in terms of value. Very, very detailed, very careful in their purchases. And we see lots of consumers in this video going around stalls, evaluating what they're getting. They'll come and just buy one thing, they'll go to the next stall because they think the next one's better.
Yeah, I think at the end of the video, we kind of center on lines, seeing this idea of lines. And we had another show about lines. So for your reference, check out the other show about lines. But let's take a look at this video, 10 minutes, and we'll be back.
Welcome to Studying Focus. In today's society, we have seen many people queuing up for different things. From day to night, we are involved in crowds unknowingly. Let's take a look at a typical day in Singapore.
Notice the styrofoam boxes. It acts as a stoppage that slows the pace of passerbys. you can see, the lady in grey is walking towards a crowded stall. The fear of losing out on something, known as kiasu in Hokkien dialect, has been inculcated into Singaporeans' mentality since young. Usually, consumer assumes if there is a crowd or line generated by the retailer, there must be an underlying reason. In addition, it could be in the mindset of these consumers not to lose out any of these good bargains. Hence, consumers would get curious and more likely to fuse in with the crowd to see what the retailers offer, even if it means not buying anything in the end. On the other hand, consumers who manage to grab products that perceive to be value for money would then feel a greater sense of satisfaction, leaving with a positive shopping experience. A man made his way through the crowd to get the corn when it is available elsewhere. This lady in pink was combing through all the vegetable stalls. She stopped by the middle section to look at the vegetables before going back to the back section once more. A few minutes later, she was spotted at the front stall picking and purchasing vegetables from two different stalls. From this, we infer that she is probably one of those variety seekers in the market looking out for fresh and cheap vegetables. Take a look at the lady in white. She was offered a bunch of spring onions for free when she purchased from that particular tenant. This is to build rapport with consumers, at the same time allowing the tenant to remain in her evoked and consideration set when making purchase decision on her next visit to the market. A similar situation can be seen at the roasted delicacies section in the wet market. Take note of the lady in orange. Look at this passerby. He initially came to meet his friend, but saw the crowd and went over to take a closer look. This passerby also got curious and paused for a while before going off from the scene. This man exited from the departmental store and immediately joined in the crowd and eventually blended in with them. He remained in his position after some time to pay attention to the salesperson's promotions. Due to the salesperson's voice and the noisy crowd, people in the area are exposed to the sensory stimuli of both hearing and sight of the commotion, thus encouraging passersby to stop by and have a second look. Since the salesperson located himself just outside the departmental store, people will have to pass by the crowd to enter or exit the store, therefore higher chance of exposure. People will crowd around at a particular spot near the stalls to look at the menu boards. When people cannot make up their mind, they will make their decisions based on their judgment of the queue. Both stalls here sells laksa. The one on the right has a queue while the others don't. This customer was spotted wandering around and observing which is the most popular stall. 5 minutes later, he joined the queue for the laksa. From here, we can see that customers want to get the best products or services that are offered to them even if it is time-consuming due to the queue. In fact, customers will take time to decide what they want before making their final decision. Look at these two Caucasians. They happen to pass by the area and stop to ask onlookers what is happening and stayed on to see. People are filled with curiosity when they see a crowd. This will cause passersby to want to find out what is happening.
long, right? Then how come you're still queuing?
Because I have no choice, because I have to get in. So in order to get in, I have to queue. I cannot jump queue, you see.
When you reach in time, will they say that there's no more admission?
This haven't occurred on me lah. I have never tried before, so I don't know. Not very sure. Maybe it might be. But it's still quite early, because it's 9 only ma. So I don't think it will be full house yet lah.
Do you know what time the door will open?
I seriously have no idea.
No idea. Then, do you come here often?
10 or 10 plus.
Do you come here often?
This is my third time only. I don't come here often.
So, do you have to pay admission?
No, ladies night free entry.
Only?
Huh?
Only free entry, yeah.
Yeah, no free drink.
Then do you ever come during Friday?
Yeah, I think Saturday. Saturday I think come.
Saturday is the crowd as long as this?
Yes.
Equally
Sometimes
long?
even longer.
Even longer.
Yeah, because I think Saturday must come earlier. So, because Saturday a lot of people very crowded.
By the time you reach the front, then because Saturday you have to pay, right?
I have to pay 28.
What if by the time you reach the front they tell you the ticket is sold out?
No choice lor. No choice lor.
Will you from future go to group or will you go to other clubs?
If that happens to me, I will go to group lor. No choice.
Go to group.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't
Because if not, I will waste my time. Queue for so long, then I cannot get in.
So you wouldn't jump to another club around the Clarke Quay area?
It depends on my company. My company of friends. If they want to go other place, I don't mind going with them. Yeah. Because I cannot get in ma.
Like every time you come here, the crowd is big.
Yeah, very long.
And then what makes you want to come here? Why do you?
The music, the guys here, oh my god, hot. Actually the music because double is boring. The song, 我老不要来过一个其实 cannot make it. Boring.
Do you find that the crowd here is more?
Yeah, more my age. St. James is too old already, a bit old already.
Are they like more in, more fashionable?
Yeah, more in. Just more can make it
So you like to be in this in crowd?
Yes. Of course.
The British created the first come first served system in Singapore, and this influence is especially evident in the queuing behavior of the younger generation. People will automatically walk all the way to the end of the line and start queuing. This shows that people in the Eastern culture are collectivists. Clubbers also fall back on heuristics when making speedy decisions. As Zouk has long queues, people might associate that as a good choice to make, and reduces the amount of risk to be taken. This also serves as a proxy for quality of the club. Zouk is already in these clubbers' evoke set when they are deciding where to go. They do not mind queuing earlier in order to get in. This is because these people have a need for affiliation and that they want to be part of the group.
Kiasuism is the culture of Singapore. People often associate crowds with the best bargains, something that cannot be missed, or just want to be part of it. The curiosity in them often leads them to the crowd. Losing out to someone else is not acceptable in this culture due to face value. Asians are generally not risk takers. They will often choose a safer decision by going with the crowd. That is why we can see crowds generate larger crowds. That's all we have for today's topic. See you next week. Goodbye.
Okay, James, pretty interesting, right? Another wet market, only this time the wet market is a lot more about how people move through the market. Do you like those little red circles and arrows? Here she is, there she goes.
I love that, and I love the way that they majored on, pointed out really nicely how they trying to squeeze the customers into a kind of space. So they're trying to get people compressed, they're trying to get people sort of all buzzing together.
Well, this is the whole zonal thing. You get people into a smaller area. And you can see someone walking around. In the end, they look to where other people are and they go right there. It's a form of risk reduction.
Yes. And I mean, the risk reduction you see particularly in that idea of this whole line building, which they come to right at the end of the video. And
they had
that
bank or mall area coming out.
Yeah.
People stand there, see a line. Then they get closer to see what's going on in line. Then they move a little bit closer to see what's happening in the line. Eventually, they're part of the whole group that's forcing it to grow larger and larger. And I think it's a natural human behavior. The thing is that we see this really consistently in China, Hong Kong, Singapore, Taiwan. It's just really consistent in how that line grows a group very quick.
It is. I mean, it's just people sort of see it as a proxy for quality, and you might have some other activity going on, but people just home into the line. And
well, they want to be part of the group. They don't want to miss what the group's getting. Yeah. It's not so much an individual thing of what do I get, but rather what would I not get that everybody else would get.
That's it. Yes, exactly. And people just home in, dive in,
right.
And it really creates that buzz and that energy. And as you say, it's that fear or interest of there must be something good here. Let's get right into it.
Can't miss that. It's got to be something good.
And it's so nicely seen in the video in the wet market that people, that energy comes. I really love there's a stall that sells fruit in the south of Tainan.
Okay.
And it's just so renao like that. They have the horns, the energy, the noise outside, and queues just come.
Right.
And people see the queue and they stop and they join the queue and they get right tucked into this whole thing.
It's a very difficult thing to convey. I mean, if you have a crowd and you go measure it, it's a crowd, so you say this is a crowd. So it's hard to measure causality, right?
It is, yeah.
But anyone who's lived in this area knows. You get a crowd, you got a little bit of a crowd that's going to grow. You got a line that's going to grow a line. This is just a key point. I think the video captured it well.
Yeah, indeed. So what have we got next week?
We've got so many videos I can't remember where they are. What is it next week? Is it on your list?
Ice cream.
Yes. Ice cream. Yeah. You like that one, right? The ice cream one.
Okay, good fun. So
Singapore ice cream.
Singapore ice cream and
classical conditioning. That's what it is. Classical conditioning with ice cream. So stay tuned for our classical conditioning show in Singapore next week.
Great.
This is Talk of Asian Marketing with a special emphasis on localized Chinese consumer behavior. Our website is ccc.qbook.tv, where you can find other audio and video episodes with photos, links, and information related to today's conversation. Subscribe to leave comments and access research episodes with applied topics and research reports.